Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Paul, and I share different things I'm curious about and things I've looked into. I like to share. So recently, I've got the question asked a few times: how do you go about picking the books that you choose? Do you just listen to people's recommendations and then pick those? Um, how do you go about doing it? And I gave an answer today, and I wanted to record this video at their suggestion, and so I am. I'll just go over pretty much the answer that I gave them. I would say for the complete beginner, one of the best things that you can do is whatever topic it is that you are interested in, which by the way, you got to read topics that you're interested in. If you have books that you just haven't read and your mind is telling you to read, but you're not interested in them, don't worry about them, because otherwise you're just going to have a negative association with reading, because now you're only thinking about the books that you don't want to read. So I just want to say that quick side note: read what you're interested in. I don't care if you're putting a book down halfway through or at the beginning. Read what you're interested in. You always want this habit to remain something that is positive for you. You don't want a negative association with reading. Okay, so I want to throw that out there. But this is kind of the different processes that I laid out, which was this: if you are like a beginner reader and you're like, okay, I don't know where to start, but I know I'm interested in this topic, I think one of the best things that you can do, it's kind of hard to go wrong with this, but look up that certain topic on Amazon. And if a book has, especially if it's a nonfiction book, but over 500 or even 2,000, somewhere in that range for a nonfiction book in particular, if it has 500, 2,000 or more reviews, like in a good manner, 4-star, 5-star, it's probably a pretty safe bet to pick up. Okay. There's a lot of fiction books that have tens of thousands, and so that seems to be pretty popular. But in terms of topics, if there are books and you can get the first 3 to 5, if you can get the first 3 to 5 books on any given topic that have those type of reviews, you're most likely in a good spot. Okay. I'll say this quick side note. This actually wasn't part of the answer that I gave before, but this is the quick side note. What I have learned, the deeper that I go into different topics, the more obscure the book, the more of a gem it actually is. So I have found some gems that are like 4 ratings, and nobody knows it's by some random behind person, but it's because I've kind of gone deep in a wormhole of a certain topic. You look at the references, you look at who influenced who, and you can kind of see who they were reading to, and then maybe their book made it popular, but this other one, it's not as popular. So that's just a quick side note that I have learned, is that the deeper that you get into topics, the more that you'll see maybe some books and you're kind of questioning, because you're like, oh wait, it's like a reverse of what I thought before. Maybe these books only have like 20 reviews or even 5 reviews, but some of them are just absolutely incredible. Also, you shouldn't necessarily be surprised by that, because if a book is denser within a certain topic, most likely less people have read it. They want the easily consumed material, so they're going to choose the lighter one rather than the heavier one. So a lot of times it is these ones that are heavier that have been less reviewed. So I did not say that earlier when I was giving the answer, but that is a point that I just thought about. Here are 2 other points that I wanted to give in terms of recommending for how to go about choosing books. I think another good option to do is, if you listen to any scholars or experts, whichever one they are in your field, whatever you're interested in, you listen to a few interviews, podcasts, whatever. If they have a website and they have a recommended reading list, if they are 40, 50, 60 years old and they're an expert or a scholar in their field, most likely, they've read 500 to 1,000 or more books. And most likely they'll have a list of 50 to 100 recommended books that they've read. And so at bare minimum, that is condensing the list quite a bit for you. And especially if you can start finding crossovers, maybe with a couple experts in the field and they're all kind of recommending the same stuff, that is a great way to find some solid reading material. Okay, so that would be the second way that I would go about doing things. The third way that I would choose what to read is, and I've done this before on my book reviews, but if you can watch people do book reviews, maybe people that you're interested in, and whether they do a monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever book review, maybe a top 10, most likely they're giving you some solid reads. I try and do the 5 a month that I recommend to people, the 5 a month. But occasionally I'll say, hey, if you only have time to read one of these, read this one. Or I'll say, hey, this one in particular was really, really good. If it is also a topic that interests you and they're simultaneously saying, hey, this one in specific was really, really good, that is a good indicator. Again, if it's from someone that you appreciate the way they think and, like them, who they are, etc., I think that that approach is one that it's almost like it's like a friend saying, hey, you got to read this one. You got to read this one. They may have multiple that were good. They didn't obviously include all of them on the book review because you got to leave some out. But when they say, "Hey, this one in specific was really good," that's a good indicator. Hey, pick up that one. Maybe you can look at some of the reviews on Amazon to check before, But those tend to be pretty good strategies as well. So those three strategies: looking up on Amazon, looking at the reviews, seeing how many 4 or 5 star reviews that something has, looking in the comment section or in the review section, like what they actually said, looking at the recommended reading list, and then looking at book reviews, book reviews. I guess lastly, one other thing that I would say is you can always look at the reading list in the back. Sometimes people will put a reading list, recommended reading list in the back of a book on a specific topic and say, hey, these 20 books were helpful, these 50 books were helpful. Sometimes you can pick and choose from that area as well. And all of those strategies have benefited me pretty dramatically. So I just wanted to share those with you guys. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next one.